live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news broadcast of Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
And I'm Sonal Paranavithana, bringing you your top stories for tonight. Let's have a look at the headlines.
The IMF Executive Board meeting will be held on the third review of Sri Lanka on the 28th of this month. Debate on the second reading of the budget commences. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe clarifies the public service salary increase to the House. Many parties expresses their satisfaction for the money allocated for education. Namal Rajapaksa indicted over the Krish deal. Excessive heat may prevail until May. Health authorities issue warnings. Price of a loaf of bread reduced by 10 rupees. Hamas leader was killed by an Israel air attack.
Now for those and other stories in detail. The Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund will meet on February 28 to consider the third review of a program with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's third review was pending the budget for 2025, a prior action. The first reading of the budget for 2025 presented yesterday, targeting a deficit of 6.7% of gross domestic product. Sri Lanka is emerging from a sovereign default after aggressive macroeconomic policy involving rate and tax cuts in 2020. Since 2015, a particular Sri Lanka has been involved in aggressive monetary policy involving excess liquidity to target a mid-corridor rate, triggering serial currency crises and foreign borrowings in excess of budget financing. Stabilization crises that followed the inflationary injections then triggered output shocks, pushed up nominal interest rates and reduced tax collections. The central bank had operated broadly deflationary policy, allowing it to keep the exchange rate stable and collect forex reserves.
Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe pointed out that the highest salary increase awarded to the government servants after 9 years has been granted by this year's budget. The Deputy Minister clarified the salary increase of government servants during the budget debate in the Parliament today. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe said that the basic salary of the government servants have been increased after 9 years. Today, a person recruited to the grade of unskilled labourers in the primary grade has been placed on a basic scale of 24,250 rupees, which will be raised up to 40,000 rupees by 15,750 rupees. By now, 2 categories of allowances have been sanctioned for the government servants. An allowance of 17,800 rupees along with 2 other allowances have been added to the increments of 7,500, 5,000, 2,500 rupees which had been provided recently. After deducting 7,500 rupees from the gross increase, 30% of the remainder would be given to all government servants from 1st of April. The minimum salary of PL1 category in government service will be increased by 5,975 rupees. At the same time, the annual minimum salary increment of 250 rupees has been increased to 450 rupees by 80%. Accordingly, salaries of other categories would follow suit. The method in which the salaries of the teachers are increased was also clarified. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe pointed out that a request has been made not to rectify the misconceptions of the society. More amount than requested from the Subodhini proposal has been granted. It has been discussed in the recent past to establish an educational council in place of Teachers' Council. The quality of the teaching service will be further raised by this step.
Now, the present budget has allocated the highest amount of funds in the history for education and health. Several sections expressed their views regarding the allocation of high amount of funds for education and the benefits provided to the students. Budget of 2025 has proposed to increase the students' allowance given to the students of low-income families who have qualified in the Grade 5 scholarship examination from 750 rupees to 1,500 rupees. An amount of 1,000 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose. The monthly allowance for nutritious food provided to students of sports schools will be increased from 5,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees. The monthly allowance of those students who are studying vocational education has also been raised from 4,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees. At the same time, the Mahapula allowance provided to university students has been raised to 7,500 rupees from 5,000 rupees. Bursary allowance also has been increased from 4,000 rupees to 6,500 rupees by the present budget. The amount allocated for this purpose in 2025 budget has been 4,600 million rupees. The payment of all these allowances will be implemented from the month of April. One of the university students said that their expenditure is very high at present. Therefore, it is commendable that the Mahapula allowance has been increased.
තම ප්‍රායෝගික සහ වැදගත් අවස්ථාවක් විදිහට අපි සලක ගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. අපි වගේ දුප්පත් ළමයි ඉගෙන ගන්නේ ගොඩක් දුරට වියදම් පියව ගන්න මේ මහපොළ එකෙන් තමයි අතරම ලොකු උදව්වක් අපිට ඉගෙන ගන්න වැඩවල.
Minister Vasantha Samarasinha says that recruitments to fill up 30,000 vacancies in the government service will be done based on merit through competitive exams. The minister made this observation participating in the second reading of the budget proposals in the parliament today. Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva said there is a major complication among financial policy, monetary policy and fiscal policy. Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando pointed out that there can be several models and among them a model based on traditional production function has been added later on. It has also been written in books about a macroeconomic model. The present world is accompanied by an AI-based model, a complex model. Accordingly, the present model is being evolved, and in order to see this model, 5 years have to be waited patiently. Parliamentarian Shamara Sampath questioned that as to how to provide 30,000 jobs from 10,000 million rupees and how to pay their salaries also. Minister Vasantha Samarasinha said that the government has clearly stated the fact that 30,000 will be recruited through a competitive examination. He added that there is a time frame of 6 months for this process. Everyone will get a salary increase of more than 50,000 rupees. Even in the case of recruitment of 15,000 persons during 6 months, an amount of only 9,000 million will have to be spent. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that measures are being taken to fill these teaching vacancies within this year. There are teacher vacancies for some subjects. However, all these vacancies will be filled before the end of this year with the new recruitments from the passing out students of the faculties of education.
Now, views were expressed on the 2025 budget during the media meetings held today. Dr. Indrajit Aponso observed that since a long time, a request had been made for a development bank from various governments. The present government is taking due steps in this direction, which will provide encouragement to small and medium-scale entrepreneurs. This will also help the economic growth of the country. He added that industrialists can be diverted towards an export-oriented economy. General Secretary of the National Organization for Pensioners' Rights, Sarat Lal, pointed out that the interest rate of fixed deposits of the senior citizens had been reduced and it has been increased by 3% in the present budget.
ශ්‍රාමිකයන්ගේ 16 19 විශ්‍රාම වැටුප අත්තිටෝල තිබ්බා කපලා තිබ්බා මේ අය වැයෙන් 16 19 විශ්‍රාමිකයන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නයට පැහැදිලි ස්ථාවර විසඳුමක් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා රාජ්‍ය සේවකයන්ගේ
Parliamentarian Chandana Suryarachi said that since the salary of the government servants has been increased, there are a host of benefits available for them as a whole.
ඒ වගේම රාජ්‍ය සේවකයන් විශ්‍රාමික ප්‍රජාව යම් බැංකුවලින් ණය ලබා ගැනීමේදී ඒ අයගේ ණය පහසුකම් වල ණය ලබා ගැනීමේ සීමාව Tamanට වැඩි කර ගන්න පුළුවන් මූලික වැටුපේ අගය වැඩිවීම නිසා.
President of the National Women's Unity, Hashni Silva, observed that the allowances of senior citizens have been increased along with that of disabled children. Secretary to the National Bhikkhu Front, Venerable Vakumulle Udiththera, expressed that in a family consisting of a pregnant mother, preschool and school-going children, kidney patients, senior citizens, a government servant and a retired person, that a family will obtain a considerable number of benefits through this budget. Venerable Handungala Ratnapala of the National Bhikkhu Front said that the present government came into power in a background where certain families had been leading luxurious lives with the help of misused money of the ailing patients of this country. As such, no one expected a budget of this nature. The people of the country had the doubt whether a satisfactory budget would be presented, which can be detailed before the media. The citizens of this country never wanted benefits at once from the government. They voted the government into power in order to create an opportunity where the country could be directed on the right track. The present budget can be described as one which has raised the hopes of the people who voted this government into power.
Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa was handed over indictment before the Colombo High Court's judge Manjula Tilakaratne today under the charge of misappropriation of sum of 70 million rupees at the Krish deal. The Attorney General has filled these indictments. The judge ordered respondent Namal Rajapaksa to be released on a cash bail worth 100,000 rupees and on 2 personal bail each worth 10 million rupees. The judge also ordered to get fingerprints of the respondent to call up a report accordingly. The discussion prior to the case is to be summoned on the 27th of March. President's Counsel Sampath Mendes, appearing for the respondent, told the courts that 21 persons have been named as witnesses of this case. The Attorney General stated that out of them, 5 witnesses are in remand or have released on bail or convicted for other cases. Deputy Solicitor General Vasantha Pereira said that following the discussions prior to the case, it is expected to call upon witnesses.
Now, a price of a 50-gram loaf of bread is to be reduced by 10 rupees with effect from midnight tonight. Under the intervention of Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe, Serendeep and Prima companies have agreed to reduce the price of wheat flour in support of the government's efforts to reduce cost of living. Chairman of the All Ceylon Bakery Producers Association has also agreed to reduce price of bread accordingly. However, prices of other bakery items remain unchanged. Chairman of All Ceylon Bakery Producers Association, N.K. Jayawardhan, said that they expected to reduce the price of a loaf of bread up to 100 rupees when the new government came into power. However, the 2 major wheat flour companies have not given a proper reply for that request so far. The companies have reduced once 5 rupees a kilo and again 10 rupees a kilo, but it is not adequate. However, the All Ceylon Bakery Owners Association has decided to reduce the price of 450-gram loaf of bread by 10 rupees with effect from midnight today.
The Met Department says that the existing excessive heat condition may prevail in the next 2 days as well. The department has issued red notices yesterday and today regarding the excessive heat. Joining a media briefing organized by the Sri Lanka Medical Association today, Director of Weather Forecast Meryl Mendes expressed views in this connection. Based on the location of Sri Lanka and the allied region, it is normal that there are 2 excessive heat conditions prevail twice a year in April and August. However, excessive heat conditions beyond normalcy has been reported yesterday and today in the northern, north-central, northwestern, western and southern provinces. Ratnapura district has also been affected with excessive heat. Accordingly, the Met Department informs that the people living in those areas to be vigilant on those excessive heat conditions. Director of the Weather Forecast, Meryl Mendes, said that this is not really the heat waves usually occurred in European countries. The temperature in these days are rather higher than the temperature reports usually by the department. The department calculates this whether it has harmful effect to the human body. Therefore, the department issued a red notice. The situation can be expected at large until the beginning of May, usually. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Consultant Dr. Surantha Pereira, explained the negative effects that can be caused to human health due to excessive heat and high temperature. Consultant Dr. Surantha Pereira said that heat rashes slightly appear on skin, cramp, tiredness, heat exhaustion and further heat strokes can occur. If the situation worsens, symptoms like muscle pain, vomiting, faintness, unconsciousness, partial paralysis may occur. Therefore, medical advice should be sought in such a condition. Consultant Dr. Ananda Vijayvikrama said that parents and teachers may take special responsibility in sending their children for outward activities such as sports meets and big matches. Children should be protected from dehydration. They should be regularly provided with water and other mineral water such as king coconut. Consuming soft drinks is not suitable. National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that water levels of the water resources are rapidly decreasing due to the prevailing dry weather condition. Therefore, the board requests the public to use water sparingly for essential daily activities. Although the consumption of water has increased due to the excessive heat, the board informs that the supply has to be limited.
With the notification of the certified price by the government for paddy, the farmers have started selling their harvests to the stores of the Paddy Marketing Board. Now the variety of paddy is purchased at a rate of 120 rupees per kilo and a kilo of summer paddy at a rate of 125 rupees. Kiri Samba is being purchased at a rate of 130 rupees per kilo. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Land and Irrigation, the minimum price for the purchase of paddy is decided by production cost, saving a poor farmer who cultivate paddy on the land of about 2.5 acres from poverty and food insecurity, along with fixing a fair retail price for the consumers. Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, Manjula Pinlanda, recently stated that all those who gather paddy stocks will have to get themselves registered with the Paddy Marketing Board before the 15th of March. Now, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that the project to computerize data of patients will be implemented in the hospitals island-wide. He made these remarks joining the patient data computerizing project at the Badrulia Rural Hospital. This is the 100th hospital the relevant project has been implemented. Accordingly, data of each patient visiting the hospital will be entered into the system at the outdoor patient department. Information of tests and issuance of medicine prescribed by the doctor will also be entered into the system. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the government has to take the decision considering the situation of the entire state. Wherever patient takes treatment, Colombo National Hospital or private hospital or Badrulia Rural Hospital, they all are citizens and taxpayers of the country. Therefore, the government is committed to provide a quality, reasonable and an equal health service to each patient. This is a matter beyond the supply of buildings or staff. Under this digitalization project, the ministry can provide solutions to the problems of the patients within a very short period. The citizens should have the facility to take medicine from a pharmacy or reports from medical labs without any difficulty.
150 members of 3 armed forces and the Sri Lanka Police have been selected as trainers to properly implement the Clean Sri Lanka program. 2 training workshops for them commenced at Panagoda today. This program has been implemented to positively enhance the image of Sri Lanka with the help of local community, government and private sector institutions, donors, media institutions, NGOs and INGOs. Through this program, administration, social, environmental and economic sustainability are expected. The trainers were enlightened under various topics today, and tomorrow some awareness programs will be held tomorrow as well. It has been planned to implement this program in a systematic manner to connect all citizens to this program to make Sri Lanka economically and socially strengthened state. The training workshop has been organized at the Sri Lanka Infantry Regiment headquarters premises in Panagoda. President Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanatkumanayaka, Defence Secretary Air Vice Marshal Sampath Tuyakonta and several other top officials were present at this workshop.
And we have more news from home in brief. A group of students from Urutagaspitiya Mahavidyalaya, Dehiyatakandiya, visited the Presidential Secretariat and the President's House today. The students were enlightened on aspects such as the history of the Parliament, the duties of the Executive, the rule of law, along with other details. President's Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanatkumanayaka distributed shoes to the school children donated by a private company. The occasion was joined by a group of officials of the President's office. The engineering department of Sri Lankan Airlines has been able to complete the maintenance of an aircraft belonging to Salam Air Company before the deadline. According to the company, the large number of airlines in the region have shown the tendency to award the maintenance of their aircrafts to the department. The crime division of Kalathura has been able to take into custody Ahungale Gingiria, accomplice of Koskoda Taraka, who is an organized gang member. 4 grams of heroin and 14 bullets along with a firearm has been recovered. Steps have been taken to manage the garbage around the Ampara garbage dump, which had been an environmental problem for several years. This has been carried out by establishing a garbage management centre under Clean Sri Lanka program. Deputy Minister Vasantha Piyathissa along with others joined this occasion. A program to clean buses and the SLTB depot premises at Kapitipula under Clean Sri Lanka program was conducted yesterday. The aim is to provide a more attractive and healthy environment to the passengers. A group of members of the National People's Power voluntarily joined in this activity. Under the Clean Sri Lanka program, Kamurupitiya bus stand has also been cleaned yesterday. Painting the bus stand and cleaning all the adjoining premises has also been completed. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel I. I'm Dilanjali, together with Sonal, signing off. Good night.